Discipline builds when talent fades. That is the truth every fighter, every dreamer, every champion eventually learns. Talent is a gift, yes, but it is fragile. It shines bright at the beginning. It makes people notice you. It makes them whisper your name before you've even proved yourself. But talent alone doesn't last. The world is full of men and women who had talent but never reached greatness because they never had the discipline to carry it. Talent is a spark, but discipline is the fire that keeps burning long after the spark has burned out. When I walked into the gym, I didn't depend on talent. Talent made me quick, it made me slick, it made me special in people's eyes. But deep down, I knew that one day I'd meet someone just as talented, maybe faster, maybe stronger, maybe hungrier. What then? If I relied only on talent, I'd be finished. That's why discipline became my weapon. Discipline made me put in the hours when nobody was watching. Discipline made me push through the pain when my body screamed to stop. Discipline made me keep going when talent alone would have let me rest. Talent can win you a round. Talent can win you applause. But discipline wins you wars. Discipline makes sure you can perform not just once, not just twice, but every single time. The crowd doesn't see discipline. They don't see the 5 RM runs, the sweat on the gym floor, the aching muscles that never get a break. They only see the show. But without the discipline behind the scenes, the show would crumble. Here's what separates the good from the great. The good rely on talent and hope it's enough. The great rely on discipline and know it will be enough. Because discipline doesn't fade. Discipline doesn't get old. Discipline doesn't leave you when the years go by. It grows stronger the more you feed it. Talent might get you the spotlight, but discipline keeps you there when the lights are brightest and the pressure is heaviest. Think about the man who was born gifted but never worked hard. He shines for a moment, then disappears, forgotten. Now think about the man who may not have been born the most talented, but he outworked everyone every single day. He built himself brick by brick with discipline. That man lasts. That man carves his name into history. That man is remembered forever. Discipline also keeps you humble. Talent can make a man arrogant, make him believe he doesn't need to train, doesn't need to suffer, doesn't need to sacrifice. But discipline strips arrogance away. Discipline reminds you that if you don't work today, you will pay tomorrow. It keeps you sharp. It keeps you grounded. It keeps you hungry even when the world already calls you the best. The body ages, the reflexes slow, the speed fades. That's life. But discipline never dies. Discipline adapts. Discipline grows. Discipline finds new ways to push you, to keep you prepared, to make sure you're always ready for the fight. That's why talent alone can never define greatness. Because when the natural gifts fade, and they always do, discipline is the only thing left standing. So never put your faith in talent. Talent may win you admiration, but it won't win you a legacy. Put your faith in discipline, because discipline is eternal. It is the hammer that shapes champions, the fuel that drives comebacks. The reason the world remembers your name long after the cheers fade. Talent may open the door, but only discipline keeps it open. Consistency beats natural ability every single time. You can be born with the fastest hands, the strongest punch, the quickest reflexes. But if you don't show up day after day, that gift will wither and die. The man who shows up every morning, who runs the miles, who trains when he's tired, who refuses to skip a single rep, he will always rise above the man who was given natural talent but never built the discipline to use it. Consistency is not glamorous. Nobody cheers for the early alarm clock. Nobody claps for the lonely road work. Nobody applauds the repetition of the same punches thrown thousands of times in silence. But it's in those silent, consistent acts that greatness is forged. Talent may let you shine for a moment, but consistency makes you shine forever. Because consistency builds habits, and habits build champions. I've seen fighters walk into the gym with all the gifts in the world. They looked sharp on day one. They could move, they could hit, they could impress everybody watching. But after a few weeks, they disappeared for days, missed training, showed up late, cut corners. That's when you see the truth. Talent alone isn't enough. Because while they were skipping, I was grinding. While they were resting, I was running. While they were taking it easy, I was sharpening my tools. And on fight night, consistency always showed its face. The man who is consistent is dangerous because you know he has built discipline into his bones. He doesn't need motivation. He doesn't need applause, he only needs the work. That kind of man is unstoppable because consistency has turned him into a machine. Every punch he throws, every step he takes, every move he makes comes from hours and hours of practice stacked on top of each other. Natural ability can make you look good, but consistency makes you unbeatable. Consistency also breaks the walls that talent can't. A man born gifted might rely on his strengths, but eventually he will face someone just as gifted. That's when consistency takes over, because consistency teaches you to dig deeper, to fight harder, to endure longer. It makes you sharper in the late rounds, stronger when exhaustion sets in, smarter when the pressure rises. Consistency is the reason your body knows how to move even when your mind is drowning in fatigue. Greatness is never built in a single day. It's built in thousands of days that no one remembers, stacked one on top of the other until the world finally sees the result. Every run in the rain, every punch in the dark, every sacrifice you make adds up. That's the power of consistency. It doesn't shout. It doesn't demand attention. It builds slowly, steadily, until one day it explodes into greatness. The truth is consistency outlasts talent. It doesn't matter if you're the most gifted athlete alive. If you don't put in the work every day, someone consistent will take your place. And when they do, you'll realize talent without consistency is nothing more than wasted potential. Consistency is the glue that holds discipline together. It's the engine that keeps driving even when you're tired, even when you're sore, even when your mind tells you to quit. Consistency doesn't ask if you feel like it, it demands that you show up anyway. And that simple act, repeated over and over again, is what turns ordinary men into legends. So remember this, natural ability might get you noticed, but consistency gets you remembered. Talent might help you win a round, but consistency helps you win a career. Be the one who shows up every day, no matter what. Because when the lights come on and the bell rings, it's not talent that carries you. It's consistency. Sacrifice is the price of greatness, and anybody who tells you different is lying. You cannot live in comfort and expect to stand among champions. You cannot cling to easy choices and expect to rise above the rest. Every ounce of glory you see in the ring, every cheer from the crowd, every headline that calls a man the greatest, behind all of it is sacrifice, nights of hunger, days of exhaustion, years of giving up everything ordinary so you can chase something extraordinary. When people look at greatness, they admire the shine but forget the cost. They see the victory but not the sacrifice that built it. Every early morning run was a sacrifice of sleep. Every meal weighed, every bite measured was a sacrifice of pleasure. Every hour in the gym was a sacrifice of comfort, of family, of free time. Discipline demands that you trade your today for your tomorrow. And only those willing to pay that price ever touch greatness. I never pretended to love sacrifice. Nobody does. I hated running before sunrise. I hated pushing my body past the breaking point. I hated saying no when the world offered me yes. But I loved what those sacrifices created. I loved the fighter it built. I loved the strength it gave me when I stepped into the ring. I loved knowing that while others were resting, I was working. Sacrifice hurt in the moment, but it gave me power when it mattered most. The truth is, talent gives you options, but sacrifice takes them away. Sacrifice says you can't eat that, you can't rest now, you can't take it easy. Sacrifice strips you of comfort until all that's left is focus, and that focus becomes your edge. While others are distracted by pleasure, sacrifice makes you obsessed with the mission. While others waste time, sacrifice makes you treasure every second. That obsession, that focus, is the difference between almost and unforgettable. And sacrifice doesn't just test the body, it tests the soul. Every time you say no to comfort, you are strengthening your spirit. Every time you suffer in silence, you are teaching your mind to endure. Every time you push, when your body says quit, you are proving that your will is stronger than your weakness. Sacrifice is not punishment, it's proof. Proof that you want it more. Proof that you're willing to give what others won't. Proof that you deserve the victory you're chasing. Without sacrifice, discipline dies. Without sacrifice, consistency fades. Without sacrifice, fear turns into defeat instead of fuel. Sacrifice is the blood that feeds every other part of greatness. It is the currency you must pay to achieve anything worth remembering. And the ones who refuse to pay it never make history. They only watch it. When you step into the ring, when the lights hit your face, when the crowd roars your name. Every sacrifice comes back to you. Every morning you ran when the world was asleep. Every meal you skipped. Every night you spent in the gym instead of living easy. It all shows up in your fists, in your lungs, in your heart. Sacrifice never disappears. It transforms into strength, into endurance, into dominance. So understand this greatness is not free. It will demand everything from you. Your time, your comfort, your energy, your excuses. But in return, it will give you immortality. People will forget the nights you suffered. They will forget the meals you skipped. They will forget the loneliness, the pain, the grind. But they will never forget your greatness, and that is the reward of sacrifice. Sacrifice is the price of greatness. Pay it and the world will remember your name. Refuse it and you will fade into the crowd. The choice is yours. Training harder than the rest is not just a choice. It is a declaration. It's a way of saying to the world, you may have talent, you may have skill, but you will never outwork me. Talent can sparkle in the short term, but it is relentless training that builds legends. You can have the fastest hands, the strongest body, or the sharpest mind, but if you don't push further than everyone else, all of it will crumble against someone who refuses to be outworked. The truth is simple, the ring does not lie. Under the bright lights, when sweat blinds your eyes and your lungs beg for air, you cannot hide. You either trained harder than the man in front of you, or you didn't. You either pushed past exhaustion when nobody was watching, or you folded when it mattered. Training harder than the rest is not about showing off. It's about preparation, about making sure you are ready when your moment arrives. While others train until they're tired, you must train until they would quit. While others stop at the edge of discomfort, you must step past it and own it. Every extra round, every additional mile, every repetition after your muscles scream is where greatness is built. Because those moments when others give up are the exact moments that carve the difference between ordinary and extraordinary. Training harder is not glamorous. It means running when your body begs for sleep. It means hitting the bag when your arms feel like lead. It means drilling the same move 1,000 times until it becomes part of your blood. People talk about wanting to be champions, but most are not willing to endure the grind that being a champion demands. Champions are not made in the spotlight. They are forged in the hours of unseen struggle, in the lonely gyms, in the early mornings, in the pain no one else is willing to take. And make no mistake, training harder does not just strengthen the body, it strengthens the mind. Every time you push yourself past your own limits, you are proving that your spirit is stronger than your excuses. That mental edge is what breaks opponents before the first punch is ever thrown. When you've trained harder than anyone else, you step into the ring knowing you've already won the first battle, the battle of preparation. That unshakable confidence comes only from the knowledge that you did what others refused to do. There's a secret most people don't understand: talent fades, but hard training builds endurance. Endurance outlasts fear. Endurance outlasts pain. Endurance outlasts talent. Training harder than the rest is not about being perfect. It's about refusing to stop. It's about getting up one more time, running one more step, throwing one more punch. Over time, those small choices pile up into an unstoppable force. And when the fight comes, when the world is watching, training harder shows itself in ways no words can explain. While others tire, you endure. While others doubt, you believe. While others break, you rise. That is the gift of training harder than the rest. It makes you unshakable, unbeatable, undeniable. So if you want to rise above, stop asking what the limit is. Stop waiting for the perfect moment. Stop comparing yourself to others. Commit to training harder, always harder, until the idea of being outworked becomes impossible. When you embrace that, greatness is not a dream. It becomes your destiny. Discipline turns pain into power. That's the secret most people never understand. They feel pain and they run from it. They hide from it. They see it as weakness. But the truth is, pain is the greatest gift when you know how to use it. Every aching muscle, every drop of sweat, every burning breath is not your enemy. It's your weapon. Discipline takes that suffering and transforms it into strength, endurance, and unshakable willpower. The average person looks at pain as punishment. They think it means they've reached their limit. But discipline sees pain differently. Discipline whispers, this is where the work begins. When your body screams stop, discipline says go. When your legs shake, discipline tells you to take one more step. When your arms feel like they're on fire, discipline commands one more punch. That is where power is born, in the exact moment you decide not to give in. You see, pain itself doesn't make you stronger. Anybody can feel pain. What makes you stronger is discipline, the decision to keep going, the decision to stay consistent no matter how much it hurts. Pain without discipline just breaks people. But pain with discipline creates champions. It turns doubt into confidence, fear into courage, exhaustion into dominance. Think about it. The greatest victories are not won by those who never feel pain. They are won by those who have been broken down, beaten, exhausted, and yet still kept moving forward. Every step through pain toughens your spirit. Every push through suffering hardens your resolve. Every sacrifice builds a version of you that fear cannot touch. Discipline is what allows you to look pain in the eye and say, "You won't stop me. You will build me." That mindset is unshakable. Pain becomes your fuel. When others complain, you smile. When others quit, you rise. When others avoid the struggle, you embrace it. Because you know what it's doing to you. It's shaping you into someone no opponent can break. And here's the beauty of it. Once you master the art of turning pain into power, life can throw anything at you and you'll never bend. Setbacks, they're just lessons. Defeats, they're just reminders to sharpen your blade. Long hours, lonely nights, sacrifices nobody sees. Discipline makes all of that fuel for the fire. Pain transforms from something to fear into something to chase because you know that on the other side of pain lies the power that sets you apart. This is why discipline is more valuable than talent. Talent will carry you only so far until the pain gets too heavy and you collapse. Discipline, though, it thrives in the storm. It welcomes the suffering. It takes the punches and turns them into progress. That is why the disciplined fighter, the disciplined dreamer, the disciplined worker will always outlast the talented one who lacks consistency. And the best part, the pain never stays. It fades. But the power you earn through it, that stays forever. Every extra mile, every sleepless night, every drop of sweat is invested into your greatness. One day the pain will be gone, but the power it gave you will echo for a lifetime. So the next time you feel the burn, don't back away. Don't fear it. Lean into it. Thank it. Let discipline guide you through it, because what you're feeling is not weakness. It's transformation. And if you stay disciplined long enough, that pain will not just make you stronger, it will make you unstoppable. Legacy belongs to the disciplined, not the talented, not the lucky, not the ones who shine for a moment and then fade away. Legacy is earned by those who refuse to break, those who stay true to the grind, those who live with discipline as their daily law. Talent makes people cheer for you today, but discipline makes them remember you forever. The truth is talent is a gift. You're born with it. Some have quick hands, some have fast feet, some have natural strength. But gifts don't last if they are not sharpened by discipline. How many times have we seen talented men and women rise fast only to fall faster? They sparkle for a season, then disappear forgotten. Why? Because they relied only on talent. They never built the discipline to sustain greatness. Discipline is different. Discipline doesn't depend on natural ability. It doesn't care if you're gifted or not. Discipline is a choice made daily in silence without applause. Discipline is waking up before the sun to train. Discipline is pushing through when nobody is watching. Discipline is saying no to comfort, no to distraction, no to weakness. And when you live like that, you build something no one can take away, a legacy. Legacy is not built in a single fight, a single speech, or a single victory. Legacy is built in years of discipline, stacked brick by brick, sacrifice by sacrifice. It's built in the lonely hours, in the sweat nobody sees, in the nights when your body begged you to quit, but you refused. That kind of commitment outlasts the temporary spark of talent. Discipline makes sure your name echoes long after you're gone. Think about the greats who inspired generations. What sets them apart is not that they were born better than everyone else. It's that they were willing to suffer longer, train harder, and commit deeper than anyone else. They chose discipline every single day, and because of that, their names are carved into history. That's what legacy is. The proof that discipline outlives talent, outlives time, outlives everything. The world forgets talent quickly, but it never forgets the disciplined. The disciplined leave behind a blueprint, a story that teaches others what it takes to rise. People don't remember how fast you were in one fight or how smooth you looked for one season. They remember the grind, the resilience, the heart that never quit. Discipline gives your life meaning beyond your own time. It becomes a torch for the next generation. And here's the truth. Everyone wants legacy, but not everyone is willing to pay the price. Legacy demands sacrifice. It demands consistency when you feel like quitting. It demands silence when the crowd isn't cheering. It demands faith when results don't show up right away. That's why discipline is the ultimate key, because discipline keeps you steady long enough to leave something behind that matters. One day, the lights will go out, the crowds will fade, the cheers will stop. But what you've built through discipline will remain. The stories will be told, the lessons will inspire, the example will guide. Your talent may have opened the door, but your discipline will keep your name alive long after you're gone. So remember this: if you want a legacy, don't chase fame, don't chase applause, don't chase the easy path, chase discipline. Commit to it like your life depends on it, because when you live with discipline, you don't just win fights, you win time. And when time passes, discipline ensures your name is not erased. It ensures you live forever.